Welcome to Makers International, a podcast of makers from 3 countries, 2 continents, and featuring 5 guys separated only by the same language. Here's your host, Richard Morley.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good times, whatever time it is, and wherever you're listening. Joined with me this week, Mr. Chris Q.
How you doing?
And Mr. Jamie Page.
All right, am you?
All right, am you? No, because I missed Joe already. That's not fair. Joe. Obviously, after last week's very sad news, genuinely sad news, we are missing Joe, and we're in a little bit of flux. We're not quite sure what's going to happen, but we'll try and soldier on anyway. As always, we've got a few shout outs from last week, and I think the week before as well, actually, because I wasn't particularly good at keeping up with them. So they are the Red Smith, KSFWG, Harnell Media, Jim Dockrell, Glyn Senior, Andrew McQuillan, and over on Instagram as well, because people apparently have been responding to our plea of interaction on Instagram. Ruben Berkey, Curious Maker Dan, Mitch Peacock, Mike, it says Lacey, but I think that might be Mike Laffey, and my terrible spelling, and also Temple Goom Turnings, according to my notes, which I presume is Steve Twidell. So you'll have to let me know somewhere in the comments if that's right or wrong or just downright hilarious. As always, this week's podcast is brought to you in part by Yorkshire Grip, Woodturners Brace for Paste, our good friend Chad, giving away his Mayan crafting mug, and Pam as well over at Highland Boxes. So huge shout out, thank you to those people. Ratings, iTunes, Instagram, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and our website, makersinternational.com.
Makersinternationalpodcast.com.
Yeah, that's probably the one we use the most, isn't it? Excellent. Yeah. Right. I think that just about covers everything. I'm in a bit of a state. I feel like I've had a few too many, although I've only had one. Chris, do we have any random listener questions?
Sure. Not to be confused with Maker Central. Okay, never mind. Actually, we do. And we have one from our good buddy who is on the mend, I'm happy to say. Ragtie messaged me and asked a question of us. So, Ragtie, hello, brother. How are you, man? His question, and this may perplex a few of you, I don't know. Ragtie says, given all the truly outstanding guests who've appeared on your show, and, Ragtie, thank you. I mean, yes, why they came on with us, we still don't know, but we appreciate it. Anyway, his question is, who would each of you say is still the one maker, woodworker, metalworker, artist that you'd love to have on that you haven't had on yet? And Jamie, I'm going to give that one to you. And then Richard, he wants a response from each one of us. So I guess there you go, boys. Who have we not had on that we want to?
I've actually got a couple.
All right.
The first one, I'm going to have to say, after seeing his antics in Atlanta, the first one has got to be David Welder.
David would be cool.
Because David is one funny guy. And after seeing him in the car park in Atlanta selling his wares, that was hilarious.
That was he and his dad, right? That were in the back of the
Yeah, that was right. Yeah. the second person I'd like to get on, who has been a good friend over the years, is Doc Jared Hildebrandt. That
Doc,
man, that is one talented guy.
Doc, he just changed jobs too. He's in the middle of switching jobs. He was working for somebody like 7 years, and then I think if I remember his feeds correctly, he left them and he's going to work someplace else too. So you know what, Doc, we'd love to have you on. Doesn't Doc do something with Eloy? Jamie, isn't he on on the Scratch podcast?
Yeah, the Scratch podcast. Yeah, that's right.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
He's got a personal friend as well, Lenny the Broom.
Yeah. I'd love to have Doc. We need to write that down. Doc Hildebrandt. I mean, absolutely. All right. Okay, cool. Richard, what about you?
That's really hard. And I feel like you've kind of put me on the spot, even though we all know you haven't really. I'm going to say Pask Makes. Do you know Pask? I don't even know what his real name is.
He's the Australian guy, isn't it?
He's the Australian guy. He's just doing his scrapwood challenge. He's done that 7 days, 7 videos in 7 days, just out of scrap wood. And I only really recently discovered his channel in the last couple of months or so. And I don't know how. It just wasn't on my radar, and now it is. And I'm really enjoying his kind of practical. He basically he'll make a tool because he needs a tool rather than go out and buy one. And I just really enjoy his videos and the way he puts together. And I suspect he has got a wicked sense of humor underneath all that. So I'm going to go with Pask makes.
All right, Pask makes.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. Actually, I'm not familiar, so thank you for the heads up. I'll go check him out.
To be honest, he's quite a big channel. He's like 6-digit subscriber base. He probably wouldn't be interested in us lunatics, cowboys.
I didn't. Well, if he's that big, I'm surprised I don't know about him.
But he definitely doesn't know about us.
Well, you know what, Ragtime, my answer to that question is an answer that you probably well know, my friend. Ragtime, my answer to that question is I'd like to have you on.
That would be cool.
For somebody who
world exclusive.
For somebody who supports this community as much as you do and as much love as you share, I want to get you on and let people know what Ragtie is all about. So, Ragtie, that's my answer. If you want to know who we haven't had on yet that I would like to, that's my answer. You, my friend.
There you go. I'm game. We had our rated shows.
Well, you know what, Ragtie, and this will become clear if we ever do get him on. Ragtie and I actually know each other from way back in the day. Ragtie and I met many moons ago, and we kind of discovered that. And so there could be some stories told if we ever get Ragtie. I'm just going to leave it at that and just let it sit there. So yeah, Ragtie, you, my man, I would love to have you on and then revisit some old times and freak some people out, because the stories we could tell would make people go, "Are you kidding?" And we're not. Anyway.
Was this like a meet through sort of because you were like into making, or was it like I used to live next to a guy who had a gardener whose second wife used to groom parrots?
It had nothing to do with making. It has a lot to do with when I lived in California. I'm going to leave it there. Ragtie
can literally not help at all.
No, it doesn't, and I'm sorry, but you know, if I explained it to you, there'd be no point in having him on. So,
and wearing sunflowers in your hair and all that sort of stuff.
No, Jamie, I'm not that damn old.
I reckon that they were like.
I was not the flower child putting the flower in the end of the National Guard's friggin' gun pointed at me. That was not me. Okay,
yes,
that was.
So
that might have been my
older
older sister, but not me.
He picked you up hitchhiking on the way to a peace rally in California, right? Because
I'm such a friggin' hippie. Yeah, no,
you never let the truth get in the way of a good story. This was getting amusing.
Never let the facts interfere with a good story, right? I hate you both. I really do. I hate you both.
You started it.
Anyway, you know what? We have a giveaway to do today, and we're looking forward to doing that because we have a winner for this huge giveaway that we have had going on. Jamie and we're gonna do the giveaway later, but I mean, we have Yorkshire Grit to thank.
Yes, we do.
We have Pam Harris to thank. Who else do we have to thank? Do we have anybody else besides Chad from Mancrafting to thank?
Mancrafting.
So we've got some serious stuff to give away, and if you guys will stick with us through this podcast and not give up on us, you may, if you entered, you may be a winner. So hang in there with us. But in the meantime, we have nothing planned to talk about. So, I mean, if you guys have questions, if you want to know why Jamie's head is too big, if you want to know why Richard is 7'2", it doesn't matter. I mean, whatever questions you have, we're willing to field today. So throw them up there and let us see them, and then we're happy to take them on because let's face it, this is a professional show, and we came unprepared. So hook us up for the next hour, and then we have a world of things we could discuss.
Just so everyone knows that's listening, and as you know, as a pre-production meeting and a topic discussions that we have throughout the week, every single week this show is prepared for in a manner befitting its general professionalism. So don't worry about that.
which means we haven't done a damn thing.
It's not what you're selling; it's the way you sell it.
Okay, but you know what? Especially with your accent, it sounds like we were totally, yeah, but we're not. Anyway, so if anybody has a question, throw it up there. I don't care. Why does Chris have a ponytail? You can ask. I'll tell you. I don't know. Why does Jamie have a beard?
Laziness.
Why? More importantly, because I was watching a live feed today, and I believe it was Steve Twaddell's live feed on Facebook. More importantly, my question to Jamie would be at this point in time, and I didn't want to say this because I didn't want to come off as that much of a, well, you know what I'm talking about. But
Douche.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with douche. That works. I was thinking the same beginning letter, but never mind. Jamie said that he was making a present for Chris Fisher, and it was a scroll saw picture. And I was gonna type into the chat, and Jamie, I didn't. I went, only Jamie Page would spend the time to make a picture for a blind guy. It's like,
I never even thought of that. Yeah.
Think about Braille.
I'm like,
and all those splinters.
And then, but you told
I'd sand it. I'm not horrible.
But Steve read the question, and Chris was like, "Oh, that's so nice. Thank you, mate. I really do appreciate it." I'm going, Jamie, you're going to spend 20 hours doing this thing, and the guy can't even freaking see it. And I mean, I love Chris, and I don't mean, and he's probably laughing. If he's watching, he's laughing about this. It's but only Jamie Page would think to make a picture for a blind guy. It's like, I just was going to say that. I'll leave it at that. Somebody else start talking because I'm done.
I'll tell you what you could do, Jamie. You could literally just send him like about 20 inches by 10 inch square bit of plywood. Send it to him and be like, no,
just send him a full sheet.
Yeah. We do actually have some actual questions in there. One of them was, what actually, Chris? Why do you have a ponytail? Is it? I don't mean that's because that came out. I don't mean that in a. You've got just like it.
Well,
I know the story behind this.
Well, here's the deal. I've had a ponytail for the last 15 years, okay? And because each year I grow a ponytail, and then it has to be a certain length, and I cut it off, and I donate it to an organization called Locks of Love.
You are not the only maker that does that.
No, I know. But here's the deal. This time around, my wife has put the kibosh on it. She just said, Chris, act your friggin' age. I mean, I know you're trying to do a good thing, but for Christ's sake, she's a businesswoman. She has corporate things that she has to go to. And I have to go to them with her. And it just doesn't look proper for me to wear a ponytail. And so she's kind of gone, Chris, could you not do it this time? And I have a ponytail now because I was in the process of doing it again, but I'm getting a haircut real soon because I can't have this anymore, according to my wife. I've done it 3 times for the kids. And it obviously takes quite some time. I mean, you have to grow your hair out to be about 18 inches in length. And if you stop and think about it, that's how long does it take to grow your hair? It takes a long time. And so you do it once and then you start again, then you do it again. And I've done it 3 times, but this would be my 4th, but she just kind of went. And so the reason why I have one now is because I'm too lazy to go to a barber. But
you can do it like the day before the next corporate event.
Right. Well, I mean,
for some reason, that's why I've got a beard.
But if anybody has the opportunity and they want to look into an organization that's gonna, because I mean, if you hit me with kids, I'm a total sucker. Especially kids that are suffering, because kids should not suffer. I'm sorry, that tears at my heart. If kids are, because of the chemotherapy or whatever treatment they're going through, they end up losing their hair. They have to go back, and they're on the mend. They're well, but they have to go back to school. And if they're in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, grade, and they have to go back, and it's like, there's especially a girl, if she has to go back to school and she's bald, kids are freaking cruel, and so they should have something that at least replaces the hair they lost until they were able to grow it back again. And so that's kind of, it's not a big thing, guys, but you know what? If all it takes is for you to grow your hair and then cut it, and it just so that you're making some kid not so uncomfortable amongst their peers, you don't know how much that would I mean, think back when you were a kid. Think about, if that was you, how much would that mean? I mean, it means a lot. So that's why I did. That's why I did it. But unfortunately, I guess I'm not doing it again. But I did it 3 times. But consider it if you can. If you can get away with it. I mean, a lot of us have, professional jobs, and we can't just grow a ponytail like that. I mean, that's like, it's like, the boss would not appreciate that kind of haircut. I mean, businesses have, stringent rules about dress and attire and appearance and all that kind of fun stuff. But if you're able, then consider it, because it's an option and it would help kids. That's all.
Yeah. Like I said, you're not the only maker that does that, and I guarantee everyone listening knows who the other maker is. But I'm not going to say the name, because when I spoke to them about it, they were very. I don't want to just like.
No, Richard,
it's kind of a no big deal thing for me, but that's what it is. And then,
Richard, I was the same. I was the same way, because I don't know how you guys look at charity. I mean, because it is kind of a charity thing that you're doing. You're doing it for somebody else, and I don't want accolades for doing it, because I mean, what am I doing? I mean, all I'm doing is letting my hair grow. I mean, please. I mean, I don't need any, hey, God, that's good for you, Chris, or you've done such great, oh, what a one. I don't need any of that. And so I understand where that person is coming from, to say, I don't really want you to talk about that. It's just something I'm doing, and I don't want any recognition for it. And I agree with them 100%, or her, whoever it is. I do. I totally agree with that, because when I do things for charity, I don't want anything from it, because I feel like if I get something from it, I haven't really done it for charity. But we've talked about that in the past.
I was going to say, that did mention. Jamie, Pam, while we're on this kind of like, why is so and so this way? Pam wants to know why you're in bed.
Well, I'm in bed because we've got visitors at the house, and they're being rather loud at the moment. So this is kind of the quietest room I could find. Okay,
so Jamie went out to play this afternoon, and he was late home for his tea. So
yeah, and I've been grounded.
Loud on your tea, and now he's got to go to bed without it. And you have to keep the noise down, because if she hears Jamie, then she'll come up, and she'll have to go straight to bed then.
Yeah.
I don't mind telling you, Jamie, that the background that you have, that you're sitting in right now, it makes you look like you are Baby Bear, and you have the best, and you have the best. And that you have the best porridge in the world, and you can expect a visit from Goldilocks anytime soon.
It literally does. If you're actually listening to this on your iPod or whatever like that. So Jamie's got like a big wooden headboard behind him, but it's like a traditionally one with spindles, I think. But it just makes it look like he's about 4 inches tall in this massive chair.
He's a little kid. He looks like Baby Bear, and he's got the best porridge in the world. And Goldilocks is going to come sleep there in a second.
Yeah. So you can head over to YouTube and go to subscribe to the Makers International YouTube channel. You can actually see it real life.
That may be the only time we've ever asked for somebody to subscribe to us, Jamie. Congratulations on pimping us out for the first time.
Nice segue.
Cheers. Love that.
Someone has asked, I can't remember who it was now. It was Sharpie's Woodwork. Are we replacing Joe? Do we even want to go with there at the moment, or
no? We can go there. We can talk about it. I mean, you guys go ahead and give your thoughts. I mean, be as open and honest. I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah,
I mean, we're open and honest.
You let us down.
Yeah,
moaning about getting off here all the blooming time, winking at us all the time. Come on, hurry up with the time.
Stupid guy from the
sent to bed. My thoughts on it are we going to replace him? Yes, no, maybe.
I don't know. We're all kind of undecided at the moment.
Let's see what happens.
I think at the moment it's the wound is still fresh.
The wound is still fresh. I don't want to talk about replacing Joe the show after we've lost Joe. I mean,
yeah, he was too much of an asset in my opinion.
Oh,
it's too. Like we said, it's too fresh.
You don't replace Joe anyway. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Joe is his own unique personality. So, is there plans to expand the podcast beyond the 3 of us? I don't think that we have plans for it, but we understand. And if you guys don't mind me saying this, we understand that because there was at one time more than just 3 of us, it kind of made us a little more unique, because we had different perspectives from, because everybody in the world has a 3-person podcast. And I don't, am I interested in adding somebody to us? Then yeah, I just don't know that we've decided on if that person, who that person is. I mean, so yeah, I mean, and that person will not be replacing Joe. That person will just be whoever comes in and decides will come in and be their own person. I mean, because Joe is Joe. I mean, you don't replace somebody. You just kind of go, hey, this is the guy who's going to come in. And Jason and Alan have both decided not to be part of the podcast anymore as well, because it was a problem with consistency with them being able to actually make the show the way Joe made it every Sunday, or was relatively close to making it every Sunday. I mean, people have lives to live, and so for now it's just the three of us. It's just the three of us, and so do we want to add somebody to us? Yes, because I think that adding more than one person, maybe even two, that's what makes the podcast unique and gives different perspectives from people. So yeah, we're thinking about it, but we haven't made any decisions as far as I know. I mean, Richard, have we?
I mean, basically, I think we're all still in denial, and we're hoping it'll come back. We don't really want to face the reality of it. The wound's still fresh, as Jamie said. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah. Katie Dotson said, "Why did Joe leave?" And have we said? Joe basically just said to us that a lot of he's just not got a lot of time for anything no more, and a lot of stuff's got on top of him, and he just had to cut a few things out, and that was basically it. There was no hard feelings or anything like that.
No, Katie, he just said
it was just one of them things.
He just had he had to prioritize his time, and he had to prioritize his time to his YouTube channel, to him getting a job. I think he's got a girlfriend now that he has to spend time with, and so it became, where's the cutting off point? And we don't get paid for doing this podcast, and trust me, if you ask Joe, he'd say he loved doing it. It's just, but at the bottom of the priority scale, that's where we came in, and so that's why Joe left. It wasn't because we got in an argument or anything. God, we love the guy.
It always happens.
Yeah.
They get involved, and then all of a sudden, Gang's like,
see, Katie, it's all you women's fault.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. I don't want to go there because that's probably not right, but I mean, it's funny.
Yeah.
Actually, there's another question here. Well, there's two questions here that kind of vaguely relate, or could be sort of worded in such a way that one could lead into the other. Who's someone whom you haven't actually met that you would like to spend an afternoon in their shop with?
Oh.
I guess you can kind of see where I'm going with this one, but
Carl Jacobson.
Ooh,
I'll take that back, because I have met Carl, but I've never been into his shop, and I would really enjoy Carl instructing me on how to do things better than I know how to do.
Well, you can't have that, because it does actually specify whom you haven't actually met.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me rethink.
That's a tough one, because I've met quite a few people.
I've met a lot of people, so I don't know. Now, Richard, that's on you then, because I know you don't get around much.
I'm very, very insular in mind. Well, I've obviously got. No, I'm not going to say the person, but no, because you told me that doesn't actually answer the question. You have to answer the question, Richard. So tell me who. Okay. Well, I'm kind of giving this away for people who know, actually, if they follow me on Instagram. I'm going to say Pam Harris, because
Pam Harris,
okay,
is actually the next visit on the road trip, and we should be there, I think, Tuesday, so in a day or two. So those listening to the podcast live, actually, that's like a proper heads up, and hopefully Pam's listening and she's not going right now, boarding the windows up and closing the curtains and stuff. But I'm having done the road trip with 1, 2, about four makers or so already. It is really exciting, and it actually doesn't matter what that person does and what they make or anything like that. It's just the excitement, the anticipation, and the chatting, and the behind the scenes of making. That is actually more than it's complicated.
No, I get it. I get you. It's watching their process of how they do things and put things out. That is always the most intriguing part of it. I mean, I remember going to, and I'm not going to drop names, but I remember going to a couple well-known maker shops and watched them work. And watching their process is actually very intriguing. And then watching how they organize and how they do things is also very intriguing, because it's almost never the way you would do it. But then you learn to get in there and you look at them and you go, I understand that thought process. Whether you agree with it or not doesn't matter, but it works for them. So you know what, rock and roll.
Jamie, you'll definitely be able to relate to this, because I'm thinking about when we popped down and saw you for the 2 days, and also when you came up after UKISS. But I remember, Chris, you did a video, I want to say recently, it wasn't that recently, when you had Jay come up to your workshop, and you were basically just having a laugh.
Yes.
And I can guarantee let's say that video was 10 minutes long.
It was, I think, too, actually.
You would have had hours of footage and then hours of time that wasn't even filmed.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's the golden stuff. It's not about the video. It's about, obviously the video is the final polished thing, but it's the conversation. Oh, you keep that there. Oh, I'd never thought of that. Or, oh, okay, well, I do this. And
exactly.
And it's just, it's like a melting pot of pure gold, brilliant ideas that you then walk away from just going, I don't know which way to think now. So for me, although I've said Pam, it's Pam because Pam's the next person and actually I can't even have that because I met Pam at Maker Central. So that's really hard. I've just worked that out. I just gave an answer I just basically ribbed.
Well, you just killed Chris.
I've actually thought of a couple, actually, and both of them are Turners. The first one is Braxton Worthland.
You know what? I would like to hang with Braxton, too, and I've never met him either. I've met him online. We've been online and hangouts and stuff like that, but I've never actually met him. And to go to his... Yep. Okay, Jamie, go ahead.
And the second would be Carl Toth.
Kyle would be interesting. Kyle would be an interesting guy to go see.
Go and shoot a calendar with him.
Jamie, please never do that. Please never do that. We've got another question, guys. I'm going to throw it out there. It's from my neighbor here in Connecticut, a young man's workshop. He says, I have another question for you. And this is a good one. And I don't know how to answer this, so I'm going to let you guys do it before me, because I'm going to need to think about this one. What is the biggest / greatest / best thing this podcast has given each one of you, experience, friendship, or exposure-wise, or what? I don't know how to answer that. I'll be honest with you. So I'm probably going to take my lead from one of the more intelligent members of this podcast, which would be Jamie. No, I'm just kidding.
I was reading the comments. I didn't actually see the question. So Jamie.
And I was waiting for you to talk. Say Richard.
No. I think Jamie. I think that you would probably have a better handle on this than we do, because you're that kind of feels guy. You have the feels.
What have I got out of it? Definitely gotten more friends out of it, which is arguably awesome. What I don't really want anything else from it, to be honest. Exposure I couldn't care about. Money couldn't care about. Hence why we haven't got a Patreon. So yeah, community.
Richard,
that is really hard, because a lot of the things that I think I've got to be a bit weird here and say I don't get anything out of it apart from having a laugh. And that's, I remember to get right back from the first episode, I was a little bit like, oh my God, how do we do this? What do we do? What do other people do? What are we going to talk about? Am I going to be an idiot? Am I going to sound like an idiot? And about 10 minutes in, I was like, yeah, I probably do sound like an idiot, but I don't care. I'm just and you just forget all that because you're having a conversation. Basically, it's not about all these live comments that are streaming down the side here per se. It's the 3, 4, originally 5 of us having a conversation and just clowning around. And I think that's what makes us different from other podcasts in a weird way.
No, I don't think that's weird at all. Because you know what, I would say, my friend, I think the biggest thing that I've gotten out of this is that I've had the opportunity to meet and really get to know Alan, Jason, Jamie, Joe, and Richard. Because I honestly, I don't think unless we had done this podcast, we would have all become as close as we currently are. And on top of that, it's given us the opportunity to meet people like you. And actually get to know who you are, because you know when the camera goes on and we're here like we are now, and people are talking amongst each other, we know that people are watching us, but I've really gotten to know the people before we go on the air and the people when we come off of the air. It has given us the opportunity to really meet and know a lot of really cool people. And I don't mean big names either. I mean, I'm talking about there are some freaking cool people out there that don't have big names in this community that we've had on that I really truly enjoy.
Well, we've had people on that haven't even got YouTube channels.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
very few people would.
And the fact that we've strived to, and you'd have to be involved with what we do to know how hard this is. We've tried to always have people on from different areas of the world so that we give everybody a voice and so that we get to know each other, because it's a community and we want to express that. It's a lot of it tends to be based in the UK, a lot of it tends to be based in the US, because those happen to be the people that are available to us. But I mean, if we had somebody that was in the Ukraine or Japan that could speak English and talk with us, we would love to have them on and find out what they're all about. That's kind of what this program is all about. It's what we do. And that's, I don't expect anything from it. I mean, I don't want anything from this. What I want is to have a good time and get to know some people. Because this is such a great community that I don't have and we've yet to have somebody on this podcast that was acting like a complete a-hole that we had to go, all right, you're gone, you're bye-bye. I mean, we've never had to kick anybody off that came on with us because they were a jerk, because most of the people that we have on with us are not. They're just regular people like us. And so, I mean, that is the biggest reward, getting to know each other and getting to know other people and putting it out there for you guys to see them and get to know them as well. I think that's the whole purpose of the thing.
So basically every show is that one next chance that, that one company is going to come in and say, we'll give you 10 grand per episode, just to mention how fantastic Carl's Cutlery is, so you can drink your tea in comfort. And people won't even notice. And yes, maybe next week.
I'm still hoping Sam Adams hops on board and says, you know what, come on.
But never know. You've always got Mancraft in mugs.
Yeah, but you know what? And you know what? That has to go to the people that sponsor us, because the people that sponsor us, they don't sponsor us. I mean, I think we kind of give that as to ourselves as a kind of a status thing. We're not sponsored. These are people who give us stuff to give you. We don't get anything out of this. I mean, they're not paying us money to be on this podcast to get mentioned. They're just putting their product out there because they know we'll mention it. It gives them promotional value, and then we just pass on the product they have to you guys that are watching, which is why we have the giveaway today. If you stop and think about it, I mean, that's not something any of us get any piece of. I mean, I don't have any Yorkshire grit fine micro stuff. That's, if we have something to give away, it's going to you. It's not coming to me.
Is that right? Are we not? I thought we were getting paid like $10 a go for every mention. That's why I thought Yorkshire Grit was saying that we had Yorkshire Grit microphone, and that was like $20. So
well, see what it is. When I contacted Glyn and everyone and set the deal up, I'm the one that gets it. Okay, so if you two is going to set it up, you would get it. See, I've got loads of Yorkshire Grit here. I could set up my own company.
Right, gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense. That's why we haven't seen the dime, Chris. Right. Well, so
Jamie's the one making money. All right, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
I've decided to be a vendor.
Well, if Chris and I aren't making any money from mentioning the names, well, we might as well offload this crap then.
Well, yeah, forget it. Richard, we might as well just say goodnight.
Yeah. You can go to Yorkshire-grit.com. My name won't be on the website, but never mind. Go there anyway.
Wicked. Right. Seriously though, do you want to mention the giveaway, what we're giving away, and you've done the draw, haven't you?
Yeah, I got Chris on a hangout this morning, and
I witnessed it, so he wouldn't cheat.
So I weren't cheating. So unfortunately, I can't win the giveaway.
Yeah, so I made sure he wasn't cheating. He got me on early this morning. And Mark Christopher, brother, if you can get Rickards on to sponsor us and give us, some product to not give away, that would be awesome. Anyway, okay. Anyway, sorry, Jim.
Before you do that, Jamie, I'm just going to mute myself and run off and get the charger for my laptop in case it all just goes ping. So if I've disappeared, I'll be right back.
All right. Well, Jamie, why don't you tell everybody what the giveaway is about, and so that people know what they were registering for and what we're giving away today.
Okie dokie. So the giveaway was for one tub of Yorkshire Grit and a Yorkshire Grit hat, one tub of Yorkshire Grit microfine paste, and a Yorkshire Grit microfine paste hat. So that's a black and white hat, or one black and one white hat, shall I say. A Makers International podcast / Mancrafting tumbler, and some custom blanks from Pam at Highland Boxes, and that all goes down to one winner. So one lucky person is going to win that.
And how many entries did we have, Jeremy?
We got 402 entries altogether. So that is absolutely incredible.
All right, but before you announce the winner, I want to ask a question because it seems pertinent at this point in time because everybody knows what we're giving away. But I had a question, and you know what? I'm a loser. I didn't write down who asked me this, so I'm just going to read it anyway. And if you're out there, you know who you are. Just go ahead and say it was me, and then everybody else in the chat will know. The question was, do you plan to make a run of any more T-shirts? I wasn't able to get one the last ones that you put out there earlier this year, and would like to have had one. As far as the podcast goes, I can't think of one, but Jamie, I just had an idea because we've got Pam with Highland Boxes giving away blanks. We've got Yorkshire Grit giving away not only the Yorkshire Grit but the microfine stuff. You know what, guys? I don't know this is ever going to happen, and so if it doesn't, then please don't think less of us. Rather than doing the team router, team scroll saw thing that we did in the past, which by the way was fun, that Jamie by the way won. Maybe what we should do is put out a Team Turner podcast T-shirt. Does that make sense?
Or just a team make as well,
or a team make, whatever the case may be. I mean, whatever, if you want to look, this community gets divided up in a lot of segments. There are turners, there are router people, there are scroll saw people, there are table. But I mean, just saying, if the next run that we do, maybe we do like a Team Turner, or if not that, then just put out a T-shirt with our logo on it. If somebody actually wants to wear it, I mean, I don't. Guys, we never thought that would be much of a demand, so we never really went beyond the little silly competition we had earlier. So I don't know.
I just had a thought.
Oh God, that's scary.
Well, because how we're going off on a tangent here, but we've got 20 minutes to play with, I guess. The whole router scroll saw thing came off a little bit of banter that Jamie and I can't remember how it started, where it started now. But that was sort of the beauty of it. I think people picked up on that.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't about, excluding people that were turners and weren't scroll sawing or...
No, it was more of a silly competition, a little inside fight between you and Jamie. And there was people bought things in to see who they wanted to win. Right. I got you.
Yeah. My mind's going down the whole size of my workshop sort of road now.
Oh God. Here we go.
My workshop's smaller than your workshop. What's your excuse? That sort of thing. I think we could play off that because I think people would. I don't know. I might be completely wrong here. It was just something that popped into my head because obviously Chris has got an enormous workshop.
You know what we do?
Hashtag size doesn't matter.
No, what we do? No, here's what we do. We make
That's
t-shirts.
going to go to so many wrong
no.
websites.
We make t-shirts. No, here's what we do. We make t-shirts that have like a huge logo on them, that hashtag huge shop, a smaller logo, hashtag medium shop, and then just a little itty bitty one that says hashtag small shop. And Richard, if you buy a hashtag small shop, I'm gonna slap you.
I'm going to have a plain t-shirt.
And we could get into what I want to talk about next, but I won't do it because I don't know that we have time. But no, you know what? The heck with it. We do have time because I'm the one who has to edit this damn thing. No, there's no constraints. I'm going to flat out say, because I'm a little upset. I was on Facebook the other day and I saw a little feed come up on my side of on my sidebar. And it was a makers group about, workshop group. And I went, oh, this looks cool. I'll click on it. And I got to be honest with you, I'm feeling a little segregated about this. There's a group on Facebook that our good friend Jamie is actually a moderator and an administrator of this Facebook group that I had no friggin' clue that he was involved with this shop, this little maker group. And I can't get into it because apparently my shop is too big. The name of the group is Small Workshop YouTube Makers, and I can't get in because my shop is larger than 150 square feet. Now, I'm feeling a little segregated against. It's like, just because I have a big shop doesn't mean why can't I hang out with you people that are awesome because I have a bigger shop than 150 square feet? That's just not fair. I mean, what's
simple answer, Chris?
What?
Very simple. Basically, right? You've got a massive shop filled with loads of tools, and I could make that as well if I had a workshop as big as yours, but I can't say yes, so you're not allowed in my gang.
But Jamie,
Chris,
I gotta ask you.
Richard's in there.
Well, Richard, that's what I was gonna ask you. That's what I was gonna ask you. You son of a bitch. Richard is in that group, Jamie.
Yeah.
Richard has a bigger shop than I do.
Plural, Chris. Plural.
Shops. Oh, excuse me. Richard has a bigger shops than I do. Why can't I get into this group? I didn't even apply. That is just so. You know what? It must be a UK thing. You just don't want Americans in there or something because I don't get it. My shop is like 676 square feet, which is probably like more than 4 times larger than what the group requires. But you've got Richard in there. Richard's in this group.
Yeah,
I'm feeling discriminated against, and I protest, and I want that corrected immediately, or I want Richard kicked out. And if you could just go ahead and kick Richard out,
that would be the better option. Yeah.
I would be happy as hell.
Well, I actually, when I joined that group, I
lied.
No.
No, you lied.
No, I didn't even embellish the truth. I literally, I clicked the join thing, and then there's some questions like, do you have a large shop, which presumably you have to answer no to. And I put like, it was like an English exam answer, like a massive paragraph. It was like, well, I have got a large workshop, but and basically they said, yeah, we've seen the small workshop that you have on your YouTube channel, and which is like teeny weeny and all the rest of it. But the massive workshop that I have isn't actually a workshop. It's now more like a storage unit, and it's miles away, and I very rarely visit it, and I very rarely work in it. It's just a transient dumping ground of bits and pieces. And they made concessions for me, like most people do have to make concessions for me. And that's why they allowed me to join the group. But also, I said to them, don't let Chris in because he's going to moan about this, and it'd be perfect ammunition because one day it's going to come up on the podcast. And they were like, oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, you've got. Well, anyway, in the meantime, from basically having this conversation,
space is space, and you have space, and if you want to use it as a shop, you could. It's just that you're too damn lazy to do so. So that's not fair. I'm sorry.
That's like, how many acres is your plot? It's like if you wanted to work
acres, I just told you. You know what? When I saw,
your land. Not if you want to go outside the workshop.
I swear, if you were here right now, I'd sick my dog on you to bite you. My shop. I went out and measured it. I can speak.
Can't even say
I went out.
excited.
I went out and measured my shop to find out what the square footage of my shop was, and it comes out to my shop is 676 square feet. That is the typical 2-car garage in America. That's what I have. I mean, granted, I do appreciate the small workshops that in the sheds that are in the UK where people don't have a lot of room to work. I mean, I really have a lot of love and empathy for, and not empathy, but I mean respect for people that can do the things that they do in those small areas. But I'm not anything special. I mean, I don't know why people keep mentioning my huge freaking workshop like I have a golf cart that goes from my table saw to my bandsaw, because that's hardly the case. I mean, 4 steps and I'm there. But whatever. Anyway, I was upset because I wanted to see what these guys were talking about, and I couldn't get in because my shop was too big, and I just thought that was wrong. That's not right, guys.
You know, it's one of those. It's difficult to answer. It's a good little group actually. There's some really nice people in there. But
well, thanks for telling me about that. I wouldn't know myself, but yeah, thank you.
Do you want me to say it's rubbish and just make you feel better? I mean,
Yeah,
literally tell me what you want me to say, and I'll say it, and everything will be fine.
No, just move on. We got a giveaway to do. Come on, move on.
Cool. Because actually, I've got a giveaway that I want to talk about as well. But I think Jamie, do you want to actually lead these people?
I can get on with this. So just to just quickly go over again what the prizes were. You win basically a Yorkshire Grit hat, a microphone hat, a tub of Yorkshire Grit microphone paste, a Makers International podcast, and Mancrafting Tumbler, and some custom blanks from Pam from Highland Boxes. There are 402 entries in total, and the winner is from Ashford, England, Mr. Andy Pugh.
All right, Andy.
Nice.
Congratulations, Andy. I think Andy's in the audience too.
He is. He definitely is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So
the Tinkerage is also less than 60 square feet. Andy, are you going to have enough room to put those prizes in?
Yeah. So Andy, if you want to message me with all your details, I'll pass them on to Glyn, Chad, and Pam. Okay, mate.
Awesome. Well, you know, Andy has been with us, and he's been a member. Have we had Andy on?
No, I don't think we have. It'd be good to have him on, though.
Andy. Okay, Andy, we're going to be in touch because you need to come on with us because you've been with us since I think since we started this darn thing. I mean, why haven't we had Andy on? Andy, all right, you know what? I'm writing you down because Andy, you're going to get an invite real soon, pal. I can't tell you this is going to be next week, but it'll be soon. We would love to have you on if you're willing to do it. And congratulations, by the way, because that's pretty awesome. I don't even have all the stuff you're getting.
Right, Richard, I believe you got a giveaway to announce, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's congratulations to Andy, and for those that didn't win, that are genuinely probably now a little bit downhearted. Don't be downhearted because one of the previous legs of the road trip, we met up with Glyn from Yorkshire Grit, and he said, I want to give you some stuff that you can give away to people as part of your road trip. And it was like, wow, dude, that is awesome. So he has given me, and I have back at the workshop, a tub of Yorkshire Grit original and a tub of Yorkshire Grit microphone, and also the corresponding hats. So you'll win the 2 hats and 2 tubs of Yorkshire Grit, 4 items in total. And I was a little bit, I haven't announced it previously, really, because I didn't know how I was going to give them away and what we're going to do. But whilst we were away on that leg, has anyone seen the little carving that Steve, Temple Boy Turners, did?
Yes.
With the road trip logo.
Yeah.
So what he did was he carved it, I think, with a rotary tool into a piece of wood, and then he sent it to us. So when we got back from that leg, it was there on the doormat. So taking that as inspiration, all you need to do to enter is to make something somehow with the logo on it. So make the logo or make something with the logo on it and put it on Instagram or your Facebook or whatever. Make sure you tag me and use the hashtag Make It Happen Road Trip, so that I can find it, basically, because I wouldn't want somebody to do something absolutely awesome and then for me to miss it. How it will be judged, I honestly don't know. Who will win, I honestly don't know. It's not about anything but getting people out there making stuff. So if you want to carve it, if you want to route it, if you want to CNC it, if you want to make it out of stickle bricks, wax crayons, watercolors, whatever, I just really don't mind. Just make something out of or with the logo and just go crazy with it.
So it's Make It Happen Road Trip, and it's the logo.
It's the Make It Happen Road Trip logo. And let me just delve into my little skyrocket next to me.
Is there, and Richard, I'm just going to ask you just point blank, is there a place that people can go to see that logo so they can go, oh, there it is, and they have a reference point to it?
Yeah, I mean, people ask, I mentioned this on one of my live streams last week. In fact, let me just hold that up in front of the screen so hopefully you can see that. Sure. So that's the logo. Hopefully it's, well, it's certainly better looking than me. Definitely, wow, look at that. So I'll leave it on the screen now and people can make something out of that. People have already asked me.
Sorry, I was going to say, I think I've got the file for that, haven't I? Because I've got the stickers. So if I could put it on the podcast website, people can either go and download it, screenshot it, whatever.
That would be awesome. It is also on my Instagram account as well. The original kind of concept picture is on there. People have asked for the file, which I don't know whether that's be clever or not to put out there for the public domain for the original file, but
sure, why not? I mean,
most people, there's enough kind of high quality JPEGs and image files that people that are thinking like the CNC computer way of doing it could use. So we but at the same time, the one that Steve did, which is actually out in the car at the moment, is absolutely amazing, and he did it all by hand. So if you want to use a computer, you can, but if you don't, then just make something with the logo. I don't care.
So it's create the Make It Happen logo however you see fit, however artistically you want to do it, and you automatically enter. Just make sure you push down hashtag Make It Happen Road Trip, and if you're on Facebook, then make sure you tag Richard Morley in it, and then you're automatically entered. And then then Richard has some great prizes. I mean,
absolutely. If you actually use the @BrainFizz UK tag for wherever you put it, that will go to the page, because like if you're not friends with my personal profile, then you can't actually tag me, so then that kind of negates people. But obviously the page, then that's public, so you can tag @BrainFizz UK wherever you post it, and we'll find it, we'll see it.
Well, fantastic. We gave away one thing, we announced another giveaway, even though it's on Richard's. I mean, that's cool, but I mean, who doesn't like what Richard's doing right now with the Make It Happen Road Trip? I mean, because that's just freaking awesome, man. I mean, that really is.
It is kind of, and it's like I just said before, it is fun, it is cool, and the doing is amazing. But
I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to have you sit down and edit that, and then see Jamie, see Soph, see Steve, I mean, all the Glenn and all the people that you're going to go visit. This is going to be. I mean, Richard.
I'm really not looking forward to. I've got 1.5 terabytes of raw footage already.
He's got like some serious editing to do, but Richard, when you get it done, I think it's going to be freaking awesome.
I genuinely hope so, because it has been.
I don't even care if it looks like a 6-year-old did it, as long as you get people involved and I can watch it. I'm going to be truly freaking happy.
Well, just to let you guys, and in fact, people probably know by now. So the previous legs we did were Sophie in South Wales, and then moving down into Somerset to see Moonshine Metalworks. And whilst we were at Soph's, obviously the whole thing with her lathe all kicked off and all the rest of it. But then on the last day, she's like, how long are you going to be at Steve's for? Because I might pop down. When are you going to be there for? And it was like, well, these are the days. I'll pop down on that day. And she did. She just, like, we'd gone a day and a half previously, and she jumped in her little car and came roaring over the Severn Bridge and came down to see Steve. And that was like, that is exactly what I want people to do. I want people to kind of watch what we're doing and go, that looks really cool. I'm just going to get in my car and go and see so-and-so and all kind of organize their own little trips. And it's happening already with Soph. Soph went down to see Steve.
That's awesome.
And now she's up with Chris Fisher doing turning. And it's like, people are doing it. People are actually kind of seeing the light and getting out of their little workshops. And
yeah, I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only, in my personal area, I've been to see Tim Sway. I've gone to see Jimmy DiResta. Jay Rivera has come to my shop. So, I mean, you have people that are within the same kind of area. I mean, each one of them is like an hour ride or 2-hour ride for, to get there and do it. But it's totally worth it. I mean, Richard, I applaud you. I really do.
For anyone thinking about it, you have the amount of fun and amusement with making something with somebody else. And it is amazing.
Yeah, it's fun.
But outside of that, you literally have 10 times more fun and inspiration and ideas from the whole kind of meeting up with somebody. Not just that thing that you make together, but the whole deal is blown out of proportion.
It's a matter of getting to know each other and people and finding out how truly amazing they are. All right. You know what, guys, we've got like a little bit left time left, and I'm sorry, I am the Joe from now on, I guess, apparently. Anybody got any shout outs? Jamie, you got a shout out this week?
Yes, mate. Yeah. My shout out goes to Pat Lap of Le Pic Bleu. He actually came out of the closet this week, and he came out with his little lathe, and he took it right into a shopping mall, and he made some pretty awesome little bottle stoppers. So Pat Lap is my shout out this week.
Love Pat. How do you not love Pat Lap? I mean, okay,
yeah.
Awesome. Well, I guess I'll go next because I mean, I don't think, Richard, you've had a chance to even watch YouTube, have you?
I haven't got a shout out in terms of the YouTube, but there's a couple of people that I want to.
Go for it. Go for it.
Are you sure? Do you want to do yours?
No, go ahead.
Well, it was kind of following on from the theme of our sponsors in inverted commas. These guys are supporting the community, supporting us to support the community in this big circular thing. So I'm going to kind of shout. I don't want to use the S word because that's used on everyone's second favorite podcast, but I want to shout out to Temple Boy Turnings, to Chris Fisher,
absolutely,
to Glyn at Yorkshire Grit specifically, and to Martin Saban-Smith of Hampshire Sheen, because these four guys have got together to support Soph in what Soph is doing, which then in turn will support the mini makers. And for me, it's all about the people supporting the people supporting the community, if that makes sense.
No, it makes absolute sense. And you know what? And I had actually mentioned that before we went on to Jamie, and I went, because I watched the live feeds. And you know what, Jamie, do you want to mention that? I mean, because you haven't done your Jamie's page. If you want to go ahead and do that.
Yeah. Well, obviously, it's actually Jamie's page. I've actually got a couple of things down for Jamie's page or Jamie's page or whatever. Yeah. Before I get to the Sophie thing, I just want to quickly mention Chris and Oots from the channel Third Coast Craftsman, who we've actually had on before. They've just reached 100,000 subscribers between them, and Oots is actually his shop dog.
Awesome.
So yeah, they've just reached 100,000 subscribers. And with regards to the live feed that was in the groups and all that lot, Chris Fisher actually done a live stream over on his YouTube channel today of Sophie completing her very first bowl, which she turned with Martin Saban-Smith, obviously who has his own YouTube channel and is the owner of Hampshire Sheen. So yeah, you can easily go and check that out as well if you're unable to see it on Facebook. Obviously it's exactly the same stream, just from a different angle. So yeah, it's the Blind Wood Turner, his YouTube channel. You can go and see it.
Awesome. And it was, you know what? I watched both. I was flipping back and forth between the YouTube and the Facebook. Because Steve Twidell, if excuse me, if you want to watch it on Facebook, and then Steve Twidell, if you're friends with Steve, or if you want to just look up Steve Twidell, then you can find the live stream on his feed as well. Because I was watching it live, and I was watching it both on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time, just to get different perspectives that was going on. It was actually very freaking cool. And Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there was Steve, because I mean, Sophie was there for classes on how to learn how to turn on a lathe, and she was there with some 4 incredibly talented guys. She was with Martin Saban Smith. She was with Steve Twidell. She was with Chris Fisher, the blind wood turner, and she was also there with Martin Saban Smith. And each one of them took their turns instructing her, because she's a brand new beginner wood turner, and she turned a bowl. And I don't mind telling you that if I had turned that bowl, I would have been extremely proud of it. And it was her first time doing it, because those 4 guys were helping her, it came out absolutely gorgeous. So, man, props to the gentleman who did that, and props to both Martin Saban Smith and also Glenn Sr., because I believe those were the 2 who made that whole meetup happen as far as financially goes. So, I got nothing but love for those guys. So, congratulations and good job, Soph.
Also, it's probably, sorry, Jamie, to butt in, but it's probably noteworthy to mention Axminster as well, because they worked quite well with giving Soph the lathe, as well as the community with all the extra items.
I mean, we don't have Axminster here in the States, but I mean, I saw what they did for Soph, and so Axminster, you guys deserve a ton of love, because if it wasn't for you, Sophie wouldn't have that lathe, and it would never have happened. So these. I mean, if you guys in the UK or wherever an Axminster exists, if you have the opportunity to patronize that place, please do so, because give back to the people that give to us, and they have obviously already done that. So if you have the opportunity, the next time you need something, go to Axminster first, and if they don't have it, then okay, understandable. But if they do have it, do me a favor. Grab it and go, because they help us all out. So good for you.
Yeah, we've also got to mention Chris's other half, Nicola, as well. I mean, she kept him going with tea and bacon sandwiches and cakes and all sorts as well.
Well, I didn't get any of that cake, Steve. I'm still waiting. So I'm a bit reluctant too, if I'm perfectly honest, because that cake looked absolutely delicious, and there was at least half of it left. So that's all I'm saying.
All right,
I bet there wasn't when the cameras went off.
No, I bet.
Nobody cares. So considering nobody cares, my shout out is, and Richard, you go hungry. Bow, bow, bow. Is David Bishop. David Bishop, otherwise known as One-Eyed Woody. If you haven't seen the video he put out a video making a child-sized red dragon shield. And like I said before earlier, it's if you do something that involves kids, I'm all about it. And this thing involved a child and a kid, and it was just a great video. So David, you shout out this week. David Bishop, the One-Eyed Woody, making a child-sized red dragon shield. If you have the opportunity to check it out, go check it out. And David, thank you, because I really thoroughly enjoyed that video.
Awesome.
Yeah. I've actually had a request from Kitten980 over in the chat and asked me to do the Jamie's page again, because it was funny.
We didn't need that. We really didn't. That's probably going to get edited out. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. Right, that's it. Encouraging. That's all we need. No.
Thanks a ton. Appreciate it. Don't show up again.
I love the way Chris said, I don't care. I'm just going to say it.
Don't sugarcoat it, Chris, will you?
No, Richard, just wrap this up. I mean, come on, we're done.
I was just about to, but then you butted in, and Binz, you've got to edit it. I'll probably try and drag this out. Just.
And it all of a sudden becomes my fault again. Because nobody has any sense of freaking timing. All right, go ahead, Richard.
Awesome. Well, obviously, a huge shout out and thank you to everyone listening there in the live chat. If you are still listening, thank you very much. I kind of question why, but thank you very much anyway. If you're not still listening, then we'll just say what we like about you. So until next week when we work out what we might want to discuss, you take care.
Have a great week, everybody.
Take it easy, everybody.